Enchanted Relationships is a video series with relationship experts and husband and wife team Chip and Jan Chipman. In each episode, Chip and Jan will be answering common relationship questions that come up for singles and couples. In this episode, they discuss attracting a new relationship into your life.
I guess the main thing I see is that everybody wants to have that beautiful relationship, but sometimes the desire to have it and the feeling of being incomplete is actually the very thing that gets in the way of having, because whatever feeling state you're in is how you present to the world and how you present to other people. So what we've noticed is that as people who have talked to us about that have just settled down and look to find real happiness from within themselves, irregardless of what's working out on the outside, things change for them because their way of carrying themselves, their way of feeling and interacting with the world shifts so much that, in my opinion, it does two things. First of all, because they're operating in that much more healthy state, and the thinking about what I really need and what I don't have is kind of diminished. Because they're operating in that more healthy state, they actually attract a different kind of people around them. People who are also enjoying that health. And that's magical, especially if, sometimes you hear of people that have gone through several unsuccessful relationships. Well, there's something going on there, And so that first thing of that shift of just finding security from within and settling down, you present differently, and so the world reacts differently to you. And you end up interacting with people who are operating more at that level of health. And then I think the second thing is, because that happens, there's how do I describe it? There's just more of an open, neutral feeling when somebody meets somebody. There's less of where do we want to be with this, and more of just enjoyment of the moment. Right? Which, when you think about where do we want to be with this, that's where you want to be.
There's less analyzing and less judgment.
That's right, less analyzing and less judgment of other people. So people end up having that experience together of just really enjoying the moment, really enjoying life, which with all the thinking where they thought they wanted to get. And well, what I would suggest is there's a shortcut, that you can go straight to enjoying that feeling, which does not in any way leave you vulnerable. Because what happens is you're in such a clear state that you see everything and understand everything at a very clear level. But you get to enjoy that immediate feeling of just being open and being together on that level.
And something just occurred to me that I'd never seen before, but when we were more in the mode of going out into businesses and corporations, and which we're not as much into now that we're living on Salt Spring Island, kind of away from things, and we do work more with individuals and groups. But back in the day in Florida, where we lived for 24 years, I remember when, especially Chip at first, because Chip was doing the business consulting first, and then when our kids got older, I joined him in that. But when we would go to meet a possible client, we would be, if we had it in our head, we want to end up having this person as a client. It was not good, because that would be on our mind. We wouldn't be in the moment with that person. But when we went in there just thinking, just wanting to meet this new person and be curious about them and just like have a nice conversation with them, and we didn't have an agenda, it was amazing. Like, people would pick up on our calmness and that we didn't have an agenda or weren't trying to box them in. And inevitably, those were the people that we say, "Oh, could you work with me?" And so it's that same thing. Like, if you've got this agenda, then of course you're not in the moment. You're not seeing the beauty. And another thing is, when you're not attached to, well, this has to be the relationship for the rest of my life, and you just are okay with, well, maybe, and I'm not speaking for myself in our relationship, but for single people, if they could just see it's okay if it doesn't that relationship doesn't last. It's not like you failed or anything. I have a friend here on Salt Spring who's, in getting towards 50 and has been meeting different people and really does want to settle down and have a relationship. And at first she would be so concerned that one didn't work out and that's it, that's my last chance. And now she got to the point where she just was meeting new friends, and if it just didn't have to be that person had to be there for the rest of her life. And now I believe she's met somebody who is probably the one that she will be with. But she got over that feeling of, wow, I failed, and she's just open to what's coming next. And that's, again, that's that faith in life that you're taken care of, and that when you worry, you're actually getting in the way of life.
Yeah.
But when you're just happy in the moment and you're not worried about outcomes all the time, that's when your dreams come true.
Absolutely. You can boil it down to a very simple equation, okay? I can go out into life with a whole set of desires and worries and concerns about where I'm going to be and what's going to work out. And I can engage in life from that perspective. And the truth is that life will engage with me from that perspective, right? On the other hand, when I turn inside and I find that strength and that feeling, that security, and I go out and I engage in life, that's how life engages with me, And I think it's a pretty solid law, and we know many, many, many people through the years who've had that desire to find that relationship. And in almost every case I know of, it's when they settle down and just started enjoying the now and the moment and their own true selves, that magically maybe not so magically, that relationship appears. And you can see that the quality of their experience, given their state of mind and their level of understanding, the quality of their experience is determined by that. And everybody has the ability to find that quiet, to find that security within. So I guess maybe it's a corny way to say it, but you really have to find more love for yourself. And that's what takes care of the other, because you're another person in the world once you do.
And another thing that just occurred to me that hasn't really occurred to me before is that what I see is that when somebody gets less concerned about whether they'll find the perfect person and they just settle down and they're more present just wherever they are without so much thought in their head about finding the right person, then the people that are already in their lives, their family members, their friends, those relationships get more beautiful, because now the person is seeing that love is all around me, and I've been so looking for this person, but meanwhile there's all these other amazing people in my life. Even people that you may walk into a shop and somebody's working in the shop, when you're present and you notice other people, then again that leads to you just being in a better state of mind, and you're more likely to connect with more people in general. So it just, again, there's so much around us that's just wanting us to see it and appreciate it when we let go of, like Chip said, that desire, and we're always searching, right?
I love that. You're either in your thinking or you're present. Now, if you're going to meet somebody, who would you prefer to meet? Somebody who's caught up in their thinking, or somebody who's really present? I think it's a no-brainer.
And if you'd like to hear more from Chip and Jan and meet them in person, visit enchanted-relationships.com/love to register for their new Enchanted Relationships program.